Hey, how's it going? My name is Andy Monroe, the co-founder of Bullish Events, and in this video, I'm going to be walking through the number one mistake that most coaches and consultants are making when it comes to marketing their events. And the reason we know this is such a common mistake is one, we've been in this industry of events, both virtual and in person, for coaching and consulting businesses for a little over 4 years now. And we have a pretty good idea of what works and what doesn't work when it comes to filling events. And also, we have made this mistake for a lot of our events as well. It's kind of hard to avoid, and it's not very intuitive. It's almost counterintuitive, and we've made it for our events. And every time we have corrected this, it has led to us getting more RSVPs, more signups, and more ticket sales. So we have learned through direct experience that fixing this one mistake can lead to more people showing up to your events, which will then lead to more event conversions. All right, with all that being said, let's jump into it. So the number one mistake event hosts make when they are marketing their events, both virtual or in person: marketing their event, not the transformation. So I'm going to say that one more time, then I'm going to dive into it and give some more context. So the number one mistake is marketing their event and not the transformation. So what exactly does that mean? So here is what marketing the event looks like. So the dates, the event name, the ticket prices, the speakers / number of speakers, the number of attendees, the location, the event activities. As you can see, these are all kind of logistical items or numerical items or just like items about the event. It's just the event, where it is, what's the name, how much are the tickets, who's going to be there, what speakers, how many speakers. Most of the time when you see people marketing their events, whether it's through email campaigns or Facebook ads or Google ads or YouTube ads, whatever it is, they are marketing this information, which at first thought makes sense. If you're hosting an event, you want to market all of the logistical items of the event. But when somebody is making a buying decision, especially if they're going to be deciding to go and attend an event, whether it's virtual or in person, this is more so applicable to an in-person event because of the commitment that's necessary for them to attend that event, but it's also applicable to virtual. When somebody is making a decision to buy, they're trying to analyze if this purchase is going to close a gap between their painful current situation and a more pleasurable desired outcome. In other words, they're trying to gauge if they will experience a transformation when purchasing said item. And when you see the actual event details, like the dates, the event name, the ticket prices, the speakers, the attendees, the location, event activities, like this is all good to know. It's good to know when this stuff takes place, and I'll mention this a little later on, that it is good to mention this in some marketing material. But this doesn't really convey any value or any transformation or any problems being solved. This almost just looks like an inconvenience. And there are a few cases where this does work. For example, if you have a very big brand, if you are Gary Vee, or if you're Russell Brunson, or if you are Tony Robbins, you could just put out some advertisements, you could send some emails, you could market your event and just say, hey, I'm hosting an event on this day at this time, it's going to be about this, maybe these other two speakers are joining me, and you could start to promote that, and they'll probably sell out a stadium because they have this massive brand that they can draw on to sell tickets to their events. However, if you are smaller than Gary Vee, Tony Robbins, Russell Brunson, or maybe you're just getting started in the events industry, or even if you have hosted a few events, you just haven't really seen the results that you want to get, you can't really get away with just marketing the event itself. You need to convey that your event is going to take the attendee on a journey of transformation, and you are going to solve their painful problems that they are experiencing. So this is marketing the event, but what does marketing the transformation look like? So I put right here, these are important, but should not be the main focus of your marketing. So I'll mention in a little bit kind of where those items plug in. That shouldn't be the forward focus. It shouldn't be, the main point of your marketing material, but it is still important to convey that information to your attendees. But this is what marketing the transformation looks like. So up first, you want to convey the problems that your event will solve for your potential attendees, the pain that is associated with these problems. So not only do you want to solve problems for your attendees, you want to make your potential attendees very aware of the pain that is associated with those problems and make them aware of their own pain to show how valuable your event could be for them. You want to market who they will be after the event. You can even paint a picture of who they are now and who they're going to be after the event. That's a really powerful way to market an event. Who they will meet and connect with at the event and why this is beneficial. So one thing that a lot of events do is they'll say like, oh, there's going to be 1,000 attendees here, or 2,500 attendees, and like that doesn't really mean anything. It's kind of an insignificant statistic. What you want to do is maybe still have that number, 1,000 attendees, but if you're hosting a marketing conference, maybe it's a media buying conference, say that there's going to be 500 other experienced media buyers in the room, and there's going to be opportunities for you to connect with other people and find potential business partners and collaborate with other media buyers and really sell the vacation, not the plane ride. Make sure that your potential attendees who are thinking about signing up for your event or buying a ticket understand the benefit of the other people that are going to be in the room, not just there's going to be a lot of other people in the room. Another way you can market the transformation of your event is talking about the topics that will be covered at your event, but with future-paced language. You don't want to just mention the topics that will be covered at the events. You want to create hooks. And there's a big difference between a topic and a hook. You want to make them enticing. You want some curiosity, and you want some benefit in there as well. So going back to the media buying example, if you're hosting an event on media buying, instead of running a session that's called How to Scale Meta Ads, you could have the session be called My Exact Strategy That I Use to Scale 7-Figure Brands in 2025. That's kind of on the fly, but you get the point. That's much more exciting than How to Scale Meta Ads. And what this does is it creates more curiosity around your event. If you're talking about some secret scaling formula that you use to scale 7-figure brands in 2025, that's relevant, but it also seems kind of hidden or kind of secret, and people want to figure out what it is. And also it starts to display something called the gap between their current situation and the desired outcome. When they read that headline, they see scaling, they see 7-figure brands. It starts to make them realize where they currently are. Like maybe they're struggling with their meta ads, and they see that you have this very successful meta ads framework that you're using to scale your own business, and you've scaled multiple 7-figure businesses. And that's where the person wants to be, but they're just stuck in this painful current situation where they can't figure out how to scale their own ads. And it creates this gap, this separation between their current situation and their desired outcome. And people will buy tickets to your event if they think that you can close that gap. Hopefully you're starting to see why it's not a good idea just to market the event information instead of the transformation that someone's going to undergo when they attend your event. All right, here is a real life example. This is an event that we put on. It was called Fun Launch Live. We have done a few of these, and we have sold thousands of tickets to this event. And we've had some really successful campaigns, and we've had some campaigns that kind of flopped. And one of the biggest differentiators between the campaigns that were successful and the ones that flopped was marketing the event instead of marketing the transformation. So I'm going to dive into an example right now. Now, the event, what's it look like to market the event of Fun Launch Live? So this is just one of the random ones we did. April 18th to 20th were the dates. Fun Launch Live was the name. $497 for GA, $997 for VIP, 18 plus speakers, 2,000 attendees, Miami, Florida, sessions, networking events, roundtable discussions, etc. So that's all the logistical items of the event. Like I said, this stuff is important to know. You want this to almost be like reinforcing marketing material. So when you're hitting everybody with your marketing material, you want to sell the transformation on the front end. And on the website, of course, you want to have information about this stuff, the dates, the name, the ticket prices. It's questionable if you want to have like the exact number of speakers. Having the attendees is risky as well, is because if you have a number of attendees on your website and then you don't actually have that at the event, it kind of delegitimizes your brand. And if you say 18 plus speakers, that just kind of sounds like a lot of information. Information used to be extremely valuable, but with how accessible content is these days and how many people that are making free content online and how accessible AI is, information is not as scarce as it once was. So we're actually seeing a shift in the events industry where people are looking more for implementation and help with the implementation. So that's just like a little nugget for you if you were starting to host events. But if you advertise like, 15, 20, 25 speakers, like I just think about that. I'm like, do I really want to go listen to 25 people talk about a bunch of different topics where I'm probably not going to remember any of them? So it's questionable if you want to have that included, but you can get the point. This is the event. This is like the bones, the structure of the event, and this is what a lot of people market when they're trying to market their events. And this is the transformation. So during this 3-day event, gain all the knowledge that is necessary to launch your first investment fund. That's an important piece of information. This conference, this event was about launching an investment fund, especially for emerging fund managers. So during this 3-day event, gain all the knowledge that is necessary to launch your first investment fund. Pain, stuck in the syndication loop. Pain, stuck in an investment banking job. Pain, Wall Street gatekeeping information on funds. These were all kind of angles that we took when we were marketing the event. Before the event, this is a transformation that they're going to experience. So no idea how to start a fund, overwhelm/lack of direction causes no action, unable to raise capital. Continuing on to this next slide, before the event, no idea how to start a fund, overwhelmed, lack of direction, unable to raise capital, stuck in the syndication loop. So this is like the before, this is the current situation of the people that we were marketing to, and we would use a lot of this stuff in our marketing language. We would call out these pain points and these problems that the market was experiencing and leverage that as marketing material. And then after the event, the transformation. So clear path forward on how to launch an investment fund, scaling out of the syndication loop, a clear process on how to find and close investors, a network of other emerging fund managers on the same journey. And I know for you as the event host, whether you're hosting a webinar or a 3-day in-person conference, like you probably understand the transformation that the attendee is going to undergo. Like you know in your mind what is going to happen, what the current situation of your attendee is and what the desired outcome is, but you need to convey that in your marketing material. Actually communicate what transformation somebody is going to experience when they attend your event, and call out the problems that you're going to be solving for your attendees, because that is why people buy tickets to events events. That's why people sign up for webinars and challenges and virtual events, because they want to get their problems solved. All right, that's all I have for this video. I know it was short and to the point, but hopefully that paints a really clear picture on why you should market the transformation instead of the event itself. Now, if you are a coach, consultant, or a community owner that is currently hosting events but not seeing the results that you want, or you want to start hosting events but you just don't know where to start, make sure you click the link down below. And also, if you could subscribe to our channel and like this video, that would be super helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.